Welcome, everyone, and thank you for watching this lightning round session, 3 Approaches to Reducing Denials with MDaudit. Let's begin. We all know denials are an expensive problem. The charges being denied by payers have been increasing, and that has a direct impact on your organization's bottom line. HFMA claims it costs a minimum of $25 to rework a claim, and some organizations are not able to work through them all, which could be dropping their net revenue by up to 3%. So ultimately, your goal should not be getting better at working denials. It should be preventing them from even happening. MDaudit Enterprise is an auditing and revenue analytics platform used by compliance, coding, and revenue integrity teams to monitor and minimize billing risk, detect anomalies, and maximize revenue opportunities. In addition to auditing professional and hospital charges, our clients use MDaudit to identify sources of denials and help prevent them from happening. Let's learn how they do it. We find that there are 3 paths our clients take to help reduce their denials. The first path is analyzing their denials. By diving deep into the remit data, it is possible to find denial trends that can be addressed through education, such as incorrect coding by specific providers. The second path is by using the findings of retrospective audits and charge analytics to identify which areas are the most problematic, and then using those findings to educate the providers or coders responsible. The third path is by incorporating prospective audits into their workflow and stopping problematic claims before they are even sent. Ultimately, an effective revenue integrity program does more than just identify bad claims to fix them. It enables your organization to implement process improvements through corrective action to prevent them from happening in the future. Let's start with a story about how one of our clients is using the insights to improve efficiency by reducing duplicate denials.
When creating my dashboards, I'm able to locate the top denials for hospital billing and professional billing. And like I had mentioned, an area of focus that came out of that was our duplicate denials, because it was in the top 3 areas. And duplicate denials, we don't really, a majority of those are either already paid or in the process of being paid. So there isn't a high revenue impact as far as reimbursement, but what impacts that is our efficiency in our workflow processes. So we wanted to improve that so that we're working smarter instead of harder, and have developed a project to move towards that, addressing those processes or workflows that we may need to improve.
As you just heard, by discovering that duplicate claims was one of the top reasons for denials, they started a project to address it. The dashboards and reports available with MDaudit make it easy to spot trends and, more importantly, dive deeper to really discover the root cause of the issue. Here is another case where a client was able to spot an anomaly, dig into the details, and make a change.
The first metric our compliance team identified to monitor within MDaudit Enterprise was a denial of claims for E&M services. By leveraging just one of the many curated metrics that we had available on the metrics card dashboard, our team was really able to identify one practice that was sort of an outlier when compared to the others. From there, we were able to drill down into the metric, which is where we saw that the issue lined up with a risk area that had been subject to some of our ongoing education. But now we could really drill down further into the data to find out what the claims had in common, which gave them a better picture of the issue. They were able to identify the specific location and group of providers that was the source of the issue, which we were then able to add and edit into the billing system and alert the practice that they would continue monitoring the situation.
Ultimately, the team saw a real-time drop in the percentage of times the group incorrectly used a modifier 25 on their established patient visit coding, down from approximately 30% to under 10%. The compliance team continues monitoring the situation to ensure the percentages do not creep back up using a custom metric card within MDaudit Enterprise. In both of these cases, the clients went through a similar exercise. They spotted a trend, used the analytics to find out what was going on, and then created a plan to address the problems. This is where the power of MDaudit really comes through, because many of the new clients we bring on board are using a manual system or a variety of systems that don't make it easy to spot trends. The alternative to having the analytics is doing retrospective audits and compiling the results yourself. There are pros and cons to relying on retrospective audits. They're not time sensitive, and billing compliance teams can review as many cases as needed to uncover troubling trends or worrisome providers. This enables the organization to get to the true cause of any problem uncovered and initiate a comprehensive corrective action program focused on the impacted areas. The challenge is it doesn't provide incorrect claims from going out. While you can uncover problems, it could be weeks or months later. So the corrective action may help with problems from that point forward, but it doesn't help the claims that went out during those months that passed. The other method many of our clients use to reduce denials is prospective audits. Prospective audits focus on identifying the most risky claims, auditing them, and correcting them prior to submission to prevent incorrect claims from going out, and thereby reducing the chance of denials and potentially providing quicker payments for the organization. We spoke with a client of ours recently about how they are using prospective audits.
We've been looking for a long time to find a way to prospectively audit, meaning that we built a system in our Epic software, which is our EHR for the organization. We built a couple of work queues in there that now we're actually able to stop claims right after they're coding, but before they're billed. So we're auditing those on a daily basis. So the biggest benefit we've been able to see out of that program so far is that we are absolutely able to catch a lot of claim errors before they get billed and get those corrected before they are billed.
Ultimately, this organization found that about 25% of the charges their team audits prospectively had disagree findings. They're seeing a real benefit from auditing the claims prior to submission, and I can tell you that based on the data, they're finding more undercoded charges than they are overcoded charges. Both problems are compliant risks that you want to avoid, but just as importantly is the revenue that they were leaving behind. Ultimately, we see clients have the biggest impact on reducing denials when they do a combination of strategies. Knowing where your denials are coming from or are likely to come from will give you the insights to target your prospective auditing efforts, since you can't audit all your charges prospectively. And in many organizations, that is why the revenue integrity and billing compliance teams come together, since they each have different responsibilities in the process and also will have insights valuable to the other team. If you want to learn about other organizations who have benefited from MDaudit, visit our website to read more case studies illustrating how MDaudit can provide a measurable impact.